Hey everyone, it's Roxy Horror. I'm here to give you my review of Zombieland 2 Double Tap. Now, this movie is, I want to say I had so much faith in it, but just because the first movie is just like iconic, almost like Shaun of the Dead for this kind of genre where like you're blending horror and comedy. But I was so scared to watch it because I just had this feeling that it wasn't going to be as good as I thought it was, as good as the first one. So, unfortunately, my view was correct. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible either. It just kind of was what it was. I'm gonna go into some comparisons. But before I do, I just want to state that the rest of this video has spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, please go and watch it and then come back and see what I have to say about it. Okay, moving forward. So both of these movies had love stories, which I can get with to a certain extent. And we'll talk more about. Okay, so yeah, it took away from some of the stuff that was going on in the movie. So yeah, there was only 2 deaths in the second movie. Now, I don't know if that was just like whatever, 2 memorable ones. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. It just kind of felt like they were put in there and they weren't, they weren't really horrific. They were just kind of like, okay, we've seen this before in the first movie, sort of, but I don't know. And like, I guess the first one had some memorable ones, but it just kind of, I don't know. It took me out of it because I was like, okay, well, I don't know. We're watching people die here. We're watching a horror movie, technically. But yeah, there wasn't like a lot of horror in it. So yeah, I love the family aspect in both movies. Both movies have this sense of like, okay, we're all in this together, even though, we may have different views of how to deal with things. They became family, and I really liked how they went about doing that. So, yeah, and then I'll, of course, love Wichita. She is one of my favorite characters because how I love a strong female character in any movie. So yeah, she's just a badass, man. And I love her outlook on life because it's very similar to mine. Because I dealt with very similar family situations that she did. So I understand where she is with her views on life and other things like that. So now I'm gonna go into what I liked about the movie. Obviously love Wichita, so her character is still pretty badass, though tamed it down a little bit, which I kind of didn't like, but I get why they did it. I get why they didn't. It just didn't hit for me, because I would never go against my views on things. I guess never say never, but she kind of went back on her views on certain things. However, I get it. It is what it is. But yeah, I loved that they created the tea 800s. Um, I just love the idea of having like a different strain or different strains of zombieism where like these guys are stronger, smarter, faster. They're going to keep coming at you and the double tap doesn't even work anymore. It's like, oh shit, we gotta shoot this guy like 20 times before he even, slows down. And then when he slows down, it's like, okay, now I can stomp on his head. That kind of thing. Like, it was just very interesting. It was a good spin on zombieism to have like different strains. And it kind of reminded me of just different strains of diseases in general. So I like what they did because zombieism in that realm, in that world, is a disease. And so it's kind of like rabies, except it's got different strains. And so, yeah, it just kind of, I enjoyed it. I really did like it. The only thing that I didn't like was that they, like, they barely killed anyone. So at the end when they're like coming at the like hippie camp or whatever, and they all like fall off the building, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, you guys could have had so many more deaths in there. There were so many zombies coming out, and it was just like, okay, we're all gonna go after this one guy, and all of us are gonna die. Like, what? Plot armor to the max. But I did like the T-1800s. I also loved that they like created those going off of the Terminator movies. They're like, oh yeah, the Terminator, the second movie, they're stronger and whatever. They're more badass, which is 100% true. And I actually do like the second movie the best out of the series. I don't know if that's a controversial topic, but yeah, the second movie is one of my favorites. And I think that's what they were trying to do here and say like, oh, the second movie is going to be better than the first. And no, sorry guys. Second movie was not good. But yeah. And then last but not least, as I said before, I love the family aspect. I love how, Wichita's looking after her sister and like trying to support her, and then when she runs away, she's like, oh my god, she's gone, I don't know what to do. So she goes back to the people who she like, who she thinks is family with her, to help her find her sister. So I really like that. And I loved how Tallahassee is like the father figure, which is just hilarious because he's like not really a father at all. But he becomes one, and that's kind of like the whole thing about how, these people are completely different after the first movie, and they kind of like adapt to these family personalities. Which I don't know, I just kind of like, because I feel like that kind of, not that I have a bad relationship with my family or anything, but like I feel like that kind of family dynamic with a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know in my life. I see people as like my fake dad, or that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just it was very much relatable to like have this male figure step up as a dad, even though he's not really a dad, and nor does he have that type of like, or nor does he think he has that type of mentality to have that kind of responsibility. But he does, and he ends up like saving the day at the end of the movie. So I kind of enjoy that whole aspect. And I like how Wichita and Columbus are like the married couple, where they're just like I don't know, they just like argue about simple things, and then they're like bickering at each other all the time, but they love each other and that kind of thing. I just didn't like how she kind of was like, oh, well, I guess I'll marry you because he like fell for this dumb chick. Like, I was like, okay, come on. Like, you're better than this. But anyway, those were the things that I liked. Now moving on to what I didn't like. As I said before, there were too many love stories, and that was really like the big thing that I didn't like. Like, freaking Tallahassee is getting a girl, and he's one of those guys that's like, I'm totally against all that. And the girl that he ends up getting with is kind of similar, where, I mean, they don't really follow each other. Well, they kind of do. I don't know. But they're both very independent people, but they end up coming together. And it just kind of took away from all the other stuff that was going on in the movie. Then the sister running away to be with the like hippie kid who was a poser, and I don't know, it just got to be a lot. And then, oh god, the dumb chick, oh god, she was the worst. And yeah, it just felt like more of a romantic comedy at that point, even though it wasn't really funny, and we'll get into that in a minute. And like, it wasn't really horrific, like, because these characters have plot armor. So it's very much like, okay, we're just following these people during a zombie apocalypse, and they're all gonna survive at the end of the movie, which they do. I mean, I already said there's gonna be spoilers, so there you go. And going into it really wasn't funny. Like, the jokes just didn't hit for me. I rarely laughed, and I did at some points, but like, rarely. And it was bland. Like, the jokes didn't land. The ending was great. With Bill Murray, I thought that was like freaking hilarious when he's running around hitting zombies with the chair, and he's like, oh man. Like, oh, it was so good. But that was literally the only funny part of the movie, that I was like legitimately laughing, and not just like like a chuckle and then being like, that wasn't really funny. Yeah, the dumb girl, she was supposed to be one of the funny characters, and I was like, I can't stand this bitch. Like, can we please kill her off now? She needs to be gone from this movie. I mean, it was just, ugh, god. She was so annoying that it was like, oh my god, she's supposed to be the comedic relief here. This is not good. This is not what's gonna make this movie great. And then, like, so as I said, I was like, oh god, when is she gonna die? Because, like, I mean, all these other characters have plot armor, so this girl, I was like, oh, she's gonna die. And then, like, they